What's up everybody, we're here at Undefeated looking for a pair of Mac attacks to convert into some cactus Macs. Let's see what we find. We got the Mac attacks. Now I want to turn them into a Travis Scott colorway. I have a few different mock-ups ready to go. We can either do the Reverse Mochas, the Mochas, or olive colorway. I have a few different options, gotta think about it. Appreciate you as always. Good seeing you, bro. Later, man. Got the shoes unlocked. Now the more I think about it, I think I'm gonna go with the olive colorway. Now we need some leather, let's go to Tandy's. Mac attacks on lock. All right, so we got the shoes. Now we're looking for the perfect leather to replace the swooshes. All right, I think this is the one. Has a nice olive tone, just what we're looking for. We're back in the studio. We got the shoes and we got the leather. Now let's break down the project for today. We're gonna be turning these regular Mac attacks into some Travis Scotts. But instead of doing the classic Cactus Jack on the back, we're gonna be doing Cactus Mac. And for the rest of the shoe, we're gonna be doing the Travis Scott olive colorway. First things first, we gotta recreate the reverse swoosh. So let's start deconstruction. To start this process, I'm going to be using an X-Acto knife and a seam ripper to carefully remove the swoosh. Old swoosh is off, we don't need this anymore. Now we're going to be using some acetone and cotton balls to wipe off the glue that was underneath the swoosh. Prep is done on the mesh. Now we're on to the Nike text on the back. While we're taking care of the prep work, we're gonna be using some 800 grit sandpaper to sand it down. I am gonna be painting this part red. I just need the paint to adhere properly onto this vinyl material. So the plan for this shoe is to make them look like the Travis Scott Olive Jordan 1 colorway. That means we want to get it as close as possible to that shoe. We are going to be turning all the mesh completely black. To do that, we're going to tape off everything but the mesh and the liner so we can get it ready for some dye. Editors, make it happen. To turn the white mesh all black, we're going to be using two different products, GAC 900 and Andrel's Flat Black Paint. We're going to mix it real well in this small jar. All you need is a 1:1 ratio mix. Once it's well mixed, we're going to be using a paintbrush to apply it all around the white mesh. We want to be very careful and not get it anywhere on the edges of the white leather because it will stain. Once it's all been applied, we'll use a heat gun to dry it. Mesh turned out great, it's nice and solid. Now we're on to the white sock liners. Same exact process, we'll lay down a solid coat and then use the heat gun to dry it. All done with the black dye. It turned out beautiful. It's nice and solid. The mesh and the sock liner is still nice and soft. The trick to this is to take your time. You don't want to oversaturate the brush. If you do so, you can easily get it all over the white leather, or it can seep through the materials and show right above on the stitching. To avoid all that, take your time and use very little dye. Next, we gotta take care of the swoosh. We're gonna tape it off so we can turn it olive. I'm gonna be using an airbrush to lay down the olive tone, but before that, we gotta lay down a white base coat to cover up all the black. all of this down, it's nice and smooth. Now we're on to the Angeles Fire Red for the Nike text on the back. For this, we'll just be using a small paintbrush. Just by adding that touch of red, this shoe is starting to look like the Travis Scott Olive Jordan 1 colorway. Now we gotta add a key element to this custom. Just like the original, we're gonna be adding the Cactus Jack, but instead of doing this logo, we're gonna be adding the Cactus Jack with the crosstalk jack, and right above it, we'll be putting the name Mac. First, we're gonna measure it out, then we'll print it with the Cricut, and then we'll paint it on. Real quick, before we lay down the stencil, I'm gonna use some acetone and cotton balls to prep the white leather before we lay down the paint so the paint can stick nicely onto the leather. Stencil is laid down. Before we can lay down the black paint, I'm gonna tape around it. So far so good. The Cactus Mac on the back looks perfect. Now we gotta go meet Nick at the laser engraving room to create some new swooshes. Swooshes. Now we gotta meet Nick Wilson in the laser engraving room to create some new swooshes.
Let's go. What's up, Vick Almighty?
What's up, homie?
Ready to do this?
Been ready, man.
Let's go. All I gotta do is close it up, and I'm gonna press the play button.
All right. Shout out to Nick Wilson for the new swooshes. They came out perfect. Now originally I did buy some leather that has an olive color, but it's way too dark compared to the green that I painted on the swoosh of the shoe. I want it to be the exact same green, so I'm gonna lay down the same green on this swoosh. Green is looking a lot better. Before we glue the swoosh onto the shoe, we gotta add some simulated stitching with the post bed. Simulated stitching is complete on the swoosh. Now to attach it onto the shoe, I could have gone about it two different ways. Either I could have not done the simulated stitching and just glued it onto the shoe, then use the patcher to directly sew it onto the sneaker, or I could have done it this route and just glue it onto the shoe with some barred super stick. Either way, both options work. First, I'm gonna grab a pen, then with the swoosh, I'm gonna place it on the sneaker, then trace exactly where I wanna place the glue. After that, we'll lay down the glue, let it cure for a few minutes, then we'll stick it together. Swoosh is on there, it looks great, let's keep it moving. Onto the sole. We gotta give it a nice H tone. So for this, we're gonna be using a Foxtrot Uniform sneaker stainer. We're gonna be using the sail tone. First, we're gonna tape off the white leather so we can hit the midsoles with the marker. All taped up, ready to go. After about 30 minutes, I let the marker sit on the sole. It's a little blotchy in some areas. I want to even out the color. So for this, we'll be using some alcohol wipes. Last step before I lace this shoe up, we're gonna go to the patcher and add a stitch line right in this area. Just like the original, we're gonna recreate that. Last step is to lace them up with some flat wax laces, just like the Jordan 1 lows, to complete the look. Alright guys, that's gonna bring us to an end on these Cactus Mac Customs. These came out so smooth. The black and white Mac Attack was the perfect base shoe for this colorway. All we really did was add a bunch of black on the mesh and the sock liner. After that, it was a bunch of details. We aged the sole accordingly, just like the Jordan 1 lows. I added the red on the Nike Techs. On the inside swoosh, we painted it olive. After that, we added the two biggest elements that make this a Cactus Mac Custom. We designed and created a new swoosh using the laser engraver. We painted it, added some simulated stitching, and applied it onto the shoe. And on the back, by far my favorite detail is the Cactus Mac with the crossed off jack. If you guys remember the promo video where Mac was wearing this exact colorway, on the back, he had the crossed off jack. In my opinion, they should have done that version. It's a lot more cleaner, but this custom will do. Let me know in the comment section down below which Travis Scott colorway you want to see next on a Mac Attack. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. We drop weekly content. This is Vick Almighty. I'll catch you guys next Monday. See you guys.